What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders around the world, wherever you may be, both male and female, my name is Logan, and this, of course, is Decode Your Reality, and this is another episode of Scripted Reality. This will be number 6. And boy, do I have a gem for all of you great decoders to watch. And I'm bringing some of you great decoders into this presentation to show you how just random people popping up, making comments in the videos that I put out are being used to leave the comments. So I'm going to be highlighting a few of you decoders in this Scripted Reality Part 6 to show, to support how mankind, how we are being used. We're entertainment, food for the supernatural, the gods, whatever you want to call it. So let's jump right into this and get started. And I wanted to just really come out of this like a broken record, because I have been saying this for a very long time now, which I'm just kind of piggybacking off of the great movie, The Truman Show, where Ed Harris says, "You're on television. You're live in front of the whole world." And I feel like that's exactly what this reality is all about. We are entertainment for whatever's watching us. We are food for whatever is watching us energetically through our emotional responses, reactions, movements, etc., etc. And you can clearly see, using numerology tied with mathematics, getting the picture with the tarot and getting some alchemy on the side here, we have a very interesting narration playing out. You're on television being 73. 73 bringing it into mathematics is the 21st prime number. Here it is. And then the 21st card in the tarot to get the picture. It's the last card in the major arcana. It's the world card. That's right. You come into the portal to come down into this reality to play the game of life. And then you can bring in alchemy, isotope 181, isotope 45. You add that up, you're going to get 226, and that's the 88th element, radium, which is tied to Ra and the Egyptian sun god and all that kind of stuff. So these are all layers to take into consideration here. And even through, going further, the 21 is tied to the word action. You see, this is where the food is for the supernatural. We create the action down here in our own reality television show. Lights, camera, action. We create the action through that 21. And just like that. And this is why the Truman Show, just an amazing movie. Telling subtly the story that Earth is a reality television show. That's what we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. You're living inside of a movie. Earth is a movie set, which I have been showing. A lot of you great decoders have been showing. You can call it a simulation, call it, but it's a movie. You're inside of a reality television show called Earth. Okay? And the Truman Show came out and told it through their narrations. So let's just hop into this really quickly. And what I decided to do is bring this number 57, which is massive. Massive, massive, massive. On the world stage, using numerology, the science of numbers, using Chaldean numerology, not deviating away from that. Why? Because Chaldean's the oldest known numerology cipher on the planet. And I feel like it tells the narration of how this reality works. It's part of what I call the source code. Numbers, letters, symbols, etc. So the 57, what I'm going to now do is I'm going to bring it into another big layer in our reality of describing the source code. Highlighting the source code. And when you place a digit into the string of the golden ratio, the 1.618033 . Well, you're going to get where this number is going to be. And here it is. I've got it squared, and it's in the 49th and 50th. There's 50 digits here, how big that 50 is. And the total addition of this is 246. So what I like to do is ask questions. I've been doing this for many years, asking questions into this Chaldean numerology cipher. And so I asked, how do you spell your name? And I get the 96. This is where it gets super interesting. 96, which is the yin yang, and the 246 tied to the reality television. And when you combine the two together, the 246 and the 96, and you bring it into alchemy to get the bridge, you get this element called curium. And Marie and Pierre Curie, who discovered radium, also were given the nod for this discovery. Okay, so it's tied to the 88 as well. But here's the fascinating part about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is confirmation for me and support, showing that we live in a scripted, predestined reality, and the voice in your head owns you. You see, this element, curium, here's the icon chosen by the Royal Society of Chemistry. Why? Because I'm going to go right to it in real time here. Here it is. And it says, the image shows a satellite in orbit around the Earth reflecting the use of curium in satellite technology. What is Earth's satellite? It's the moon. Okay, so if you could start to use logic and critical thinking here, not trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, because I have almost 400 videos outlining how this methodology works. And a lot of you great decoders are showing it. But the reality television show owned and operated by what it seems to be the 96 and the satellite, which to me is telling the narration, it's the moon, which of course is partnered with the sun. That's what this is saying right here. I mean, the 96 and the 246 is right there asking the question and getting the 57. So I feel like whatever is running this reality gets to come down here and become any one of us at any time. And if it doesn't do that, it controls us remotely. Many movies that have said this. Adjustment Bureau, Truman Show. And this just Westworld. This is just confirmation right here. But I'm going to show you some real-time stuff to support now what I'm saying, that mankind's being used, besides myself, because I've been saying this over and over, showing it over and over. But this is what I'm going to base my support off of. So thanks, everybody, for supporting this. And, you know, this right here was a really good decode. I felt it was the creme de la creme, the icing on the cake. And all you great decoders leaving your comments, thank you. Everybody that posted, I made it to the end, because I asked you, if you made it to the end, post it there. The percentages are still low, but that's okay. Those of you that made it to the end, you wanted the information, I appreciate it. But all you great comments, keep them coming. 179 so far, maybe more now. But this is what I'm going to be basing off of, and what I decided to do to bring some of you decoders into this, to show you I'm not the only one being used for the script. So I decided to choose these two people, these two subscribers, these two supporters of the channel. I know Keith's been around for a while. I've seen his name, his comments, but Teresa's brand new. So welcome, Teresa. And this is the comment she left. And this is the comment Keith left. And, you know, when I've decoded McDonald's, but I've never decoded this show called Candid Camera. I'm a huge fan of it. I used to watch it growing up as a kid. Maybe you're a fan of it. So I decided to grab these two comments because I decoded them really quickly, and I could not stop laughing because these people, Keith and Teresa, were being used to put these comments there by the voice in their head. This is what popped into their head. This is what they put. So I'm going to break it down. Let's start off with Keith. Keith says, the comment, so basically we're a happy meal. And of course, he's referring to my comments and my support and my expressions in Prison Planet 4 showing that mankind is being used for food. This is not new. The Greeks called this ambrosia. I broke this all down in Prison Planet 4. That's the reason why he made that comment. Of course, that was his humor. I thought it was kind of funny. And so I've broken down McDonald's. I think it's in my Superstar Decoded, but there's a few layers in here that I didn't break down. And I'm going to start off with the two founders of McDonald's. Remember, the base is that mankind is food for the supernatural. Okay? And then the Happy Meal is food for us. It's a fractal down. So Maurice and Richard are the two founders of McDonald's. Then Ray Kroc, made it a big franchise. So here are their birthdays. November 26th, February 16th, 26 and 16, 42. Life, the universe, everything, 42. That's just the subtle part about it. But then you bring in their birth cards. And this is where the comedy starts to come in, I feel. It's funny. November 26th being the 7 of Hearts, February 16th being the 9 of Diamonds. And you can fact check these with the card of illumination, the boilerplate chart here. Okay, if you want to. There's February 16th, the 9 of Diamonds. November the 26th, there's the 7 of Hearts. Okay, you can fact check this yourself. But there, what do you see there, ladies and gentlemen? How about the element gold? Because 7 and 9, when you bring it together, equals gold. And it's not just gold. It's also selenium. The 34th element. Selenium comes from the Greek word selene, which means moon. And just like that, you have the Ark of the Covenant, I feel, is the sun and the moon, forming that Analema 88 shape in the sky, etc., etc. Selenium having the atomic mass of 79, gold having the protons of 79. Selenium and aurum. Okay? So again, ladies and gentlemen, you got to ask yourself some serious critical thinking questions here. Do you think these guys are out to get you? Like, do you think they chose their births? Do you think their parents humped to try to get them born on these days because they were fans of the cards and they had to exactly hump on specific days to make sure that they get the 9 months exactly right to pop them out? This is how you got to use logic and critical thinking here. This is not a one-hit wonder. I've been showing this with so many other people's birthdays. Okay? So many other people's birthdays, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Bam! Right off the bat. And what's the arch? Gold. It's kind of a no-brainer. And so, how about this? This is what the franchise is called. From their last name. McDonald's, 34. Selenium tied to the moon, tied to gold. You see? The moon bounces the light, gets the light from the sun. Okay? That's how we get night. That's how we get light at night. Is from the moon and the stars, the celestials. Otherwise, it would be pitch black. But how about that? It's 34. Selenium, the moon. McDonald's, the sun, gold, the golden arches. It's pretty hilarious. This being the 13th letter, if it's an M, that has massive significance. 41 being the 13th prime number, 10 to the Elohim. But, just for fun, I was like, okay, what else can I decode? Well, I decided, how about what's the color? Because I'm a graphic designer, so what's the color? What's the Pantone color? You can do the CMYK, the RGB. What is the color of this? So I looked it up. Here it is. Here's the Pantone color for the color yellow for McDonald's. PMS 123C. So I'm going to decode that. Several ways you can do this now. But here's the way broken all the way down. You get the number 24. And then I'm going to take this number now and I'm going to fact check it into the golden ratio. Right here. The golden arches, the golden ratio tied to the sun, which is also tied to the moon. Where's that number 24 in the string of the golden ratio? Well, it just so happens that it appears at the 79th decimal digit of the golden ratio. 79 and 80, 80 being the tree of life. This is counting the 1 point. If you don't count the 1 point, it's going to be the 80th decimal digit. But there you go. 79 tied to the 24, tied to the freaking Pantone color of the yellow they chose for the arch. Now, this is where critical thinking would come in again. Do you think the people that created this, I think his name's Jim Linden, couldn't find his birthday? Do you think he uses Chaldean numerology and chose this color to make sure that it fit inside the string of the golden ratio so all this stuff ties together? So it fits to selenium, which comes from the word selene, which means moon, and gold is the sun. Oh, do you think this is what these people are doing? Well, there's a lot of effort to go into that. And the technology back in these days, man, they didn't have this kind of technology like we're doing. Everything would have to be done by hand. I just don't buy into it. Mankind's being used. I'm going to support it even more. So let's keep going. So here's another way to break down the Pantone. Now, on the sheet here, it just has the 1, 2, 3, C. If you leave out the PMS, it's the 1, 2, 3, C. And then if you leave these numbers in their authentic expressions, not breaking them all the way down to single digits, it's the 123, and then the letter C is 3, and that's 126. And that leads right to this element right here called iodine. And if you were paying attention with the prison planet 4, you would have seen this screen right here. And then you can bring another layer, Judaism and theology, into this, and the beginning of mankind through the Old Testament, the Torah. Genesis 1:26. There's the 126 right on the iodine. Let us make man in our image. And then this scripture, when you break it all the way down, is a 52. And this was a big slide here, I thought. Pretty crystal clear. What does prison planet mean? Well, you ain't getting out till you die. So you might as well quit complaining and pointing fingers. Go live your life and be a creator. These guys did. These guys right here created. Probably had a pretty good life. A lot of people like just to complain and my life sucks and this sucks and they suck and they're doing this to me. And man, what a miserable life some people have. So let's keep going with this. So Keith asks, we're a Happy Meal. So here it is, 36, Happy Meal. And then I'm going to bring that right into the string of the golden ratio, fact check it right again. And there we go. You got to go 30 digits in, 30 total digits to get to that 36. That's going to get to role play, of course. So we're being role played for food. Because this right here totals the 157, and you go right to alchemy. And it's the 64th element. It's the GD element, the God element, gadolinium. The average is 157. There it is. It's right on the atomic mass of this. And the icon used for this element is a television screen. Why? Because gadolinium was used for television screens. You're on television. 64 being tied to our DNA. 64 being tied to the total squares on a chessboard. That's why when people say, well, you got a chessboard in the beginning of your videos and that means you're a Freemason. No, I belong to no society. I just know how this reality works. Obviously, by your comment, you don't. If you're still blaming and saying all these kinds of ridiculous things. Okay? And if you don't like what I got to say, too bad. Don't really care. These are my opinions and truths. I'm supporting this over and over. Over and over and over. And then I get people coming in saying that I'm this and that. It's pretty interesting, man, people's characters. But this is clear as day here, ladies and gentlemen. I stand firm in this research, almost 400 videos now, showing someone who I don't even know, bringing them into the equation. Let's keep going. So here's the lady who was the creator of the Happy Meal. Yolanda. Now, is this lady a Mason? Maybe she's a Jesuit out to get you from Chile. She opened a couple restaurants in Guatemala. Maybe she was part of the Guatemala Jesuit organization down there out to get you. Yolanda Fernandez de Cofino from Chile. She came up with the concept. Here's her birth card. The Queen of Hearts, born on the 29th of July. This is so interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because July 29th is the same birthday as NASA. NASA was founded on July 29th. This lady was born on July 29th. Now, I know you say, well, what has that got to do with anything? Well, because in my Prison Planet Decoded Part 4, I showed all the NASA stuff in here with Roger Waters being tied to the dark side of the moon, being tied to NASA in his song Brain Damage. The comment made about the Happy Meal was based on Prison Planet 4 and all the NASA referencing in the Pink Floyd and Dark Side of the Moon. And this lady who comes up with the Happy Meal, which Keith asked about or said, so we're basically a Happy Meal. She got the same birthday as the same founding date of NASA. Queen of Hearts, Queen of Cups, 57. The Truman Show. Remember, reality television is 57. We're all in a reality television show, folks. That's my final answer. Earth is a big movie set. And then what about her death date? The 6th of September. Which is really interesting because it's the 5 of diamonds, the card 31, but it's the same birthday as this guy right here, who I also mentioned in my Prison Planet. Right here. Also mentioned him a lot. Okay? Same birthday, September 6th, can be written 69 or 96. This is the logo for the astrological sign of Cancer, which is the moon. Dark side of the moon. So he's got the birthday of 6th of September, and she passes on the 6th of September. All found from this comment by Keith from my Prison Planet 4, which mentioned NASA and Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. So Happy Meal ties right into this. This is, to me, the supernatural being a stand-up comedian. Using you to say these comments. Pretty crystal clear. But then it keeps going, folks. See, so I wanted to research a little bit more because she came up with the idea for the Happy Meal. The concept. It was called the Ronald menu. But then they gave it to corporate, went to Chicago, and was given to this guy right here, Robert Bernstein, who was a marketer. They gave it to this guy, and then he came up with the final product called the Happy Meal. Whoops. Right here, this guy. Here it is. He was born on October 17th, 1939. And so we're going to look at his birth card. Here it is. Here's his birth card. The 5 of Clubs, card number 18. And if we just go right into the tarot to get the picture, what's the 18th card in the tarot? Well, it's the moon. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? It would also be the 5 of Wands, which is tied to the card number 27, which is tied to heaven and golden, all that kind of stuff. Ensof. The 18th card in the Major Arcana, it's the freaking moon card. And how much did I mention the moon here? Brain Damage, Dark Side of the Moon, which is why this whole Happy Meal and McDonald's decode's coming out here, based on what Keith is asking or stating. So we're basically a Happy Meal. So to finish this part of it up, ladies and gentlemen, here are Yolanda's and Robert's birth cards. She's got the Queen of Hearts card 12. He's got the 5 of Clubs card 18. And simple math, what's 12 plus 18? That's right, it's 30. It's 30. So you think they're in cahoots? You think they're out to try to get you, Yolanda and Robert? Try to pull one past you. I'm just having fun with this, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we to do here, man? Just gotta have fun with this. All right, so that was Keith's portion of it. So thank you, Keith, for sharing your comment. I hope I can do more of these. So keep your comments coming. But now I'm going to get into Teresa, because Teresa's new, and we're really happy you're here, Teresa. Teresa had left many comments. She's trying to figure it out. And this is the comment she left. And the reason why I hearted this one as well is because I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan of this show called Candid Camera right here. I used to watch it growing up religiously, man. And maybe you did too. And she says, "Smile, you're on Candid Camera," because that was their motto. That was their motto. Smile, you're on Candid Camera. And it was right here. It was a reality television show. A reality television show. Okay? A reality television show. The Truman Show. Okay, so this show right here, man, you're on camera. People don't know it. And then they say, look over in that camera. There's a camera over there. And oh, you got me. You got me. You got me. See how all this works, folks? Something's watching us, having fun. Now we're figuring it out. And it's like, oh, shit. Got to reset now because everybody knows how it works. But let me show you the breakdown of this and how it's just more scripted reality. Scripted reality 6. Here we go. Alan Funt. Alan Albert Funt was the creator of Candid Camera. So I'm going to break them down. So how interesting. It was called Candid Camera, Camera 16. The guy was born on the 16th. It's just so funny, man. I'm telling you, this reality. So his Camera 16 is born on the 16th. And then here's his birth card. September 16th being the 8 of clubs, being card 21, and then you go, the only thing missing is lights. You got camera and action, which is what this whole show was all about. The action was the people, and they didn't know they were being filmed. They say, look over in the camera. Oh, you got me. It's the camera and the action. This guy creates the show. And he's got the 8 of clubs card. And what is the 8 of clubs card tied to? Well, how about going to the moon? Which I showed in my Prison Planet 4. The July 20th date of when NASA said they went to the moon, 1969, 69's in the moon right there. July 20th, it was this card right here, the 8 of clubs. So you have the camera here, and you got this show, Candid Camera. Oh, man. And then, Roger Waters White, his mother's maiden name, both 21. Sings Dark Side of the Moon, Brain Damage. Man, this reality is so funny, if you ask me. I'm sorry I'm laughing. Well, I'm not sorry. It's funny. But let's take a look at Alan's birthday. So he was born on the 259th day of the year. 259. 59 is the game of life. It's 200, the fallen angel story, 259. But it leaves 106 days remaining until the end of the year. And then you go right to our DNA. These are the two base pairs of our DNA. It's 106. So what's on camera? Our DNA. This guy creates a show called Candid Camera. See how all this works, folks? This is the source code, man. This is like the code working behind our script. Then we create it. This is how this all works right here. So how about this right here? The show was called Candid Camera. I mean, if you want kind of an icing on the cake, if you want a nail in the coffin, it's a 34. This is why the moon is so tied to this, which I think is the server in the sky, the camera, with the sun. 34, selenium, right? It's tied to McDonald's. McDonald's is 34, Candid Camera. The two comments that I chose, I just randomly picked them. It's the moon, folks. And what does candid mean? Candid being 18, the 18th card in the tarot is the moon card. What does candid mean? Well, it says right here, candid refers to a type of photography that captures people in unposed and natural moments. Reality television show. Candid photos are often taken without the subject's knowledge or awareness. See, now you know that you're on television. It's not candid anymore. Now you know you're inside of a movie. The secret's out, folks. No more secrets. We're being watched, we're being observed, we're entertainment for whatever is watching this reality. We're being controlled. We're living in a predestined reality, scripted reality, etc., etc. So to get to the end of this scripted reality 6, how about the first episode of Candid Camera on the television show? It first started off on the radio, but the television show, because we're on television, it aired on August 10th, 1948. Thank you to ChatGPT. I was using ChatGPT. It's pretty cool. I'm starting to get used to using it, asking questions, and then cross-referencing it. So that's what this is. So August 10th, 1948. What card is it? The 3 of diamonds. What is the 3 of diamonds? The 29th card in the deck. And then you go right back to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, song number 9, Brain Damage. We're being watched, folks. It's just comical. So make sure you know that when you're in the shower doing the naughty. Oh man, it's just so fun. This reality is a joke, man. There it is, brain damage. NASA forming on the 29th of July, 29 being brain damage. Brain damage being 18, moon being 18. See how all this works, folks? Candid camera tied to NASA, tied to Pink Floyd. 3 unrelated items in our reality, but they all connect. So there you have it right there. And then how about the days in between when this guy was born, the creator of the show, and then the release of the show on television? Here it is. Not the years, just the days on the calendar. August 10th, the release date of the show. September 16th, the guy's birthday. 37 days. Drum roll. What's the 37? Looking at the top of your screen there. It's the eye in the sky, of course. I am the eye in the sky looking at you. Is this tied to Sirius? It's pretty interesting, folks. These are all no-brainers. This is how I decode. This is my methodology. I look at everything I possibly can. I can see. Once you start to see it, you don't unsee it. You just don't unsee it. And here's the ending of this one here. His name is 57. You're on television. You're live in front of the whole world, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. We create the action. This guy was no escaping the code. Created the show. We ran for 70 plus years. Very successful. Well, his mind wasn't his own. The idea he had for the show, where did it come from? It come from the supernatural. Obviously the celestials, the sun, the moon, however it works. But you can clearly see these are all tied together here. And I just really think it's funny. I'm at a point now where it's just become so comical. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all, folks. Because we live in a scripted reality. There you go. And I got James Bond right in the middle. Right down the tunnel. Shooting the gun, man. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's all, folks. 47, Scripted Reality 47, Tetragrammaton 47, Washington, D.C. 47, White House 47. All these are just Chaldean. All these things are being used to create this reality. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no exceptions. So the question now is, what movie do you want to pay attention to? I hope you will disembark from paying attention to their movie because they need your energy to keep it going. They're not paying attention to your movie, probably. You need to create your own movie. Create your own, whatever it is you want to create. And decode yourself to figure out what your script is in this reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for this Scripted Reality Part 6. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. Those of you that made it, 15% of you, maybe 15, 16%. That's the statistics I get from YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for hosting this. But big shout out to all you great decoders. Keith and Teresa, thanks for sharing your comments. I'm going to maybe do some more of these just to show you how, it doesn't matter. These comments coming in, just pick one and show you the source code. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan, Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.